Welcome back to the Presidential Podcast, the greatest podcast in the world. Everybody says so. The numbers prove it. I'm your host, the greatest president, Donald J. Trump. Today, we've got a huge, historic, unbelievable amount of news. It's so big, even CNN is trying to pretend they can keep up. They can't. They're collapsing like a bad souffle. This is September 10th, 2025, a day where the world, let's be honest, looks like it's holding its breath and maybe also hyperventilating into a brown paper bag. So buckle up, because we're going to cover explosions in the Middle East, drones in Europe, fights at the UN, Wall Street partying like it's 1999, and even Apple announcing a phone that probably costs more than your car. It's a beautiful mess. Let's get into it. Segment one, the Doha strike. Israel goes all the way to Qatar. So let's start in the Middle East. You've got Israel, always tough, always serious. This time they didn't just go across the street. They went all the way to Doha, Qatar. Qatar is supposed to be a friend of the United States. They host our military bases. They serve us overpriced airport coffee. They love soccer. And Israel decided, you know what, let's launch a missile there and try to take out Hamas leaders. Now, folks, it's like your neighbor showing up at your vacation condo in Florida and blowing up your Airbnb because he didn't like who you rented it to. Very unfriendly, very awkward. Israel said they were targeting Khalil al-Hayya, the Hamas big shot, and Zaher Jabarin, another one. Hamas says they survived, but Israel did kill some people, 5 Hamas members, bodyguards, even al-Hayya's son, plus a Qatari security officer. And this wasn't some sloppy strike. No, it was precise, very high tech. They didn't even knock the windows out of the next building. If my contractors were this precise at Mar-a-Lago, I'd actually have finished the ballroom renovations in under 10 years. But here's the problem. This was Doha, not Gaza, not Syria. Doha. That's like hitting your Uber driver because you didn't like the last guy he dropped off. The Qatari prime minister was furious, called it state terrorism. Everyone condemned it. Even I had to come out and say, not good, not helpful, very unhappy. And folks, I don't like being unhappy. I like winning. I like golf. I like steak. Unhappy is for losers. The U.S. supposedly gave Qatar a warning, but it came 10 minutes after the bombs fell. That's like a lifeguard shouting, watch out for the shark, after you're already missing a leg. So Qatar thinks we either lied or we're so slow we couldn't win a game of checkers against a turtle. And Netanyahu, Bibi, he's proud of it, said Hamas leaders will never be safe anywhere. He basically said, you can run, but we'll find you, even if you're drinking overpriced cappuccino in Doha. But it wrecked the peace talks. They were literally in the room in Doha ready to give their answer on a U.S.-backed ceasefire. And now, boom, literally boom, no talks, just rubble. Was it strategic? Absolutely. Israel wanted to clear the way for their Gaza offensive. And what better way to ruin negotiations than to kill the negotiators? Folks, it's like scheduling marriage counseling and then setting fire to the therapist's office. You don't want peace, you want a free weekend. Segment 2, Poland versus Russia. NATO finally shoots back over in Europe. Things got spicy. Poland, great country, strong country, love the kielbasa. They had Russian drones flying into their airspace. Not one, not two, but almost 20 of them. And not by accident. No, this wasn't like a lost Amazon delivery. These came from Belarus, which is basically Russia's Airbnb for mischief. The drones flew into Poland, messed up airports, even hit a house. Luckily, no one was hurt, except maybe the guy's roof. But believe me, it's tough to get roofing done right now, so that might be worse. So Poland scrambled jets. NATO helped. You had Dutch F-35s, Italian AWACS, the whole European Top Gun cast. And they shot those drones down. First direct NATO versus Russian military confrontation since the Ukraine war started in 2022. That's big. That's historic. It's like finally telling your annoying cousin at Thanksgiving to shut up. Only instead of cranberry sauce, it's missiles. Russia claims it was an accident. Belarus says the drones lost their course. Please, that's like saying your drunk uncle just happened to drive his car into your living room. 19 times. Total nonsense. Now, here's the real question. Does this count as an attack on NATO? Because if it does, Article 5 comes into play, and then suddenly World War III is trending on Twitter. Folks, we're one miscalculation away from Europe looking like the world's most depressing fireworks show. Segment 3, Palestine at the UN, visa denied. Meanwhile, the United Nations is gearing up for a massive showdown. A bunch of countries, France, the UK, Canada, even Malta, which I thought was just a place where James Bond goes on vacation, they want to recognize a Palestinian state. The US? Nope. Israel? Definitely nope. And to really drive the point home, we denied visas to the entire Palestinian delegation, even Mahmoud Abbas. Imagine booking a flight to New York, packing your best suit, and then finding out the bouncer at JFK says, "Sorry, pal, not tonight." It's wild. The UN is literally in New York. By law, we're supposed to let foreign delegations come, but we said, nope, no entry. It's like hosting a wedding and then locking the bride out of the church. Awkward, but effective. On top of that, Israel's withholding $3 billion in tax revenues from the Palestinian Authority. That's their budget for teachers, police, everything. It's like taking away your kid's allowance and then being surprised when they start selling lemonade at the corner. Except in this case, the lemonade stand is full of Molotov cocktails. The U.S. and Israel want to crush this statehood move before it gets real. Europe wants to push it forward. It's a diplomatic tug of war. Only one side is playing dirty, and the other side keeps slipping on banana peels. Segment 4, Wall Street ignores the apocalypse. Here's the funny part. While all this chaos is happening, Wall Street is partying. Dow, S&P, NASDAQ, all at record highs because investors think the Fed is going to cut interest rates. That's it. The world could be on fire, but if Jerome Powell hints at cutting rates, traders start popping champagne like it's New Year's Eve. Apple even launched the iPhone 17. They've got an Air model now, which is apparently so thin it can slide under your door like a pizza flyer. $999, real affordable. I bet Tim Cook wakes up every morning, looks in the mirror and says, how can I make people pay rent prices for something they'll drop in the toilet? The new AirPods translate languages in real time, which is great. Now, when you're being insulted in Paris, you can understand it instantly. Meanwhile, Oracle's Larry Ellison is now the second richest man in the world thanks to AI servers, which, if you've ever tried to buy a server, is basically like selling expensive microwaves that make the stock market drool. And Klarna went public, valued at $15 billion. So now people can buy now, pay later on their way to bankruptcy. Very innovative. Segment 5. Other global drama: Nepal, China, Iran, and a Hyundai factory. Nepal, you've got protests, curfews, government resignations, buildings on fire, all because they banned Facebook and X. Imagine banning social media and then being shocked when Gen Z gets mad. That's like banning iced coffee and then wondering why hipsters start throwing Molotov lattes. China told the U.S. to stop supporting Taiwan. That's every conversation with China. Don't support Taiwan. It's like the world's worst broken record. Iran let nuclear inspectors back in. That's nice, but it's also like a teenager saying, okay, Mom, you can check my room, right after hiding the beer in the neighbor's garage. And South Korea is furious because U.S. immigration raided a Hyundai factory in Georgia and detained their workers. So Seoul sent a plane to get them back. Folks, it's not often you hear the phrase Hyundai scandal in Georgia, but here we are. Segment 6, the big picture, a world on edge. So what's the takeaway? September 10th, 2025 is the day everything got dialed up. The Middle East is hotter than my golf course sand traps in August. Europe is one drone away from NATO-Russia collision. The UN is about to have a shouting match with half the room locked outside, and Wall Street is dancing while the world burns. It's like watching a family Thanksgiving where dad's lighting the turkey on fire, mom's crying in the bathroom, the kids are fighting over the Wi-Fi, and grandpa is outside yelling at squirrels. Total chaos, but also kind of fascinating. The future? Gaza invasion looks inevitable. NATO has to figure out how to stop Russia without starting World War III. And the UN vote on Palestine is going to show the world whether the U.S. is still the big boss or just the guy at the party yelling at people to turn down the music while everyone ignores him. In conclusion, so that's today in the news, folks. A world on the brink, markets on a high, Apple selling overpriced toys, and me, the only one telling it to you straight. With jokes, with honesty, with style. Remember, stay safe, stay strong, and if you can, maybe invest in roof repair, because with drones and missiles flying, it's going to be a busy season for contractors. This has been the Presidential Podcast. Until next time, folks, tremendous, just tremendous.